As the parent of adolescents, you would well be aware that their moods can be so up and down. Often they seem very self-focused and even a little bit obsessed with their friends. Many parents ask me how they can help their young person with this. And I always like to start by sharing that us humans are innately social beings. We deeply yearn to feel loved and accepted and understood. And this does underpin our emotional well-being, our physical resilience, and our psychological functioning. During adolescence, young people undergo a surge of emotional intensification, and they're heavily drawn to their peers, whom they reveal and explore aspects of their developing identity to. Peer acceptance and social success are perceived by younger teens as a direct reflection of just how okay and acceptable they are. And for many adolescents, managing the emotional states of moodiness, self-consciousness, social anxiety, and insecurity in themselves and their friends can be really stressful. Many healthy and well-adjusted adolescents experience a phase of jumbled identity and confusion, followed by the development of increased confidence. Eventually, we watch them accept who they are and relax into their identity. And once a teen's sense of identity relaxes in this way, their emotions tend to stabilise and they become more comfortable to authentically express themselves in social settings. We can make this journey to self-acceptance smoother for our young people by offering them many outlets to feel good about themselves, such as strong family relationships, great self-care routines, varied interests, and engagement in meaningful activities. So there's some ways we can actually help our adolescents move through this phase successfully. The first I would say to you is collaborate with your young person to give them a greater sense of responsibility and power over their life. Help them to understand that as they grow older, they will increasingly need to take action in order to get their needs met, and that this can be done by consulting and planning with us, planning with you. One way you can help them to learn the skill is by supporting them to organise a vibrant and positive social life for themselves. Their social lives are so important because it has the added benefit of helping them to develop real-world skills. For example, you might facilitate and support your teens' thought process around preparations for social occasions, like where will they go, how will they get there, and what support they might need from you with regards to drop-off and pick-up times. We want to nurture a mutually considerate relationship with your teen and support them to see you as a person in your own right. This will inevitably create a win-win situation for you both. You can do this by letting them know that you value and welcome their friends, and just like their friends have emotional and practical needs, so do you. So for example, you could say, I'm so glad you're having your friends over this afternoon. I really hope you guys have the best time hanging out. I just want to make one thing super clear. I need you all to clean up after yourselves straight away. I'm really tired. It's been a big week and I'm really looking forward to relaxing this weekend, so I need a balance of work and play too. When you say such a thing to young people, they do step up. My daughters will often roll their eyes at me, but they know that's the request that I'm asking. We want to let our young person know that they are a valuable contributor to the family. This holds up expectations that dishes will be cleared, animals will be fed, and they may be asked to run the occasional errand for you. Such principles of give and take, reciprocity, and mutuality will help your young person to learn healthy relationship values, and they're going to take these into adulthood with them. We want to be very clear about what you need from your teen in order to feel relaxed at home. So, for example, you might request that when they have friends over, they and their friends be very respectful of a younger sibling and that they don't leave the house by a designated time, that they tiptoe around the house by a designated hour, and they maintain a certain level of cleanliness and hygiene. We want to demonstrate your respect for them by making these requests in private. Okay, we don't want to be put on the spot in front of our peers, and we don't want that for them with theirs.
We want to create an adolescent-friendly environment at home so that your adolescent wants to invite friends over. We want to have our kids' friends at our house so that we know what's going on, right? In this way, you're going to remain in the loop of what's important in your teen's life, and you'll know that they are safe and supervised. Be unapologetic about stating the house requests. This is particularly important when members of the opposite sex are visiting. So, for example, say, hey fellas, we have plenty of food, help yourselves and clean up when you're done. Or the door stays open and pick-up's 10, mate. So we're really clear on that. We want to remain available. If your adolescent's having a hard time socially because they're underconnected, or they're experiencing conflict, or they're at in the process even of changing friendship groups, your positive relationship with them will play a powerful role in protecting their mental health. We want to support our adolescents to speak up and to hone their relationship skills with you. So you can do this by assuring that they don't feel judged by you, and that by being present and encouraging when they share their thoughts and feelings. Some of the most important work with our teens is how they learn to get their needs met, how to speak up for themselves, how to articulate their limits of how they want to be treated, and ask for what they need and want from people. So we want to support and affirm this important developmental skill, and speak up if you feel they're crossing the line with regards to respectful communication. Be aware that teenage social and emotional development can result in a fair amount of turmoil. It's common for our adolescents to experience bouts of overthinking about being accepted and acceptable, and you can help get them through this by regularly reminding them that you love them, that they're a unique person, and that you love the unique person they're becoming, and that you're really, really proud of them. Remember, overthinking creates a powerful activation in emotional regions of an adolescent brain, and this activation changes when an adolescent shifts their focus. So you can help to stabilize their emotions and mood by just supporting them in redirecting their stuck thoughts. My 21-year-old and I endlessly speak about her overthinking. We want to facilitate reflective conversations about how negative thoughts erode our self-confidence, whereas positive or exciting thoughts tend to lift us up. Share with them that some people think too much, and when you're in a bad mood, thoughts become distorted. So, for example, you could ask, let me think of something I might say. You could say, sweetie, do you think that you might be overthinking things? Do you think your thoughts are in charge of you right now, and that you maybe need to get back in charge of them? Come on, let's have a break from overthinking. Let's go have some fun together. My daughter and I went and got our nails done yesterday. She was overthinking. What we want to do is we want to provide mindfulness and meditation tools too for our adolescents to cool their overthinking and strong emotional responses. Stop, breathe, respond can be a great tool to offer to your teen. You can share this with them if they're prone to getting angry or frustrated or overthinking. We could use the exercise of counting 5 green, soft, pretty, round, square things within eyeshot, and be helpful. And we can dance, we can go for a walk, we can visualize a happy place. Anything that shifts this overthinking for them. Reflecting and affirming our adolescents' feelings, of course, is crucial. And for those of you who know my work, know that I bang on about this all the time. Active listening, active listening, active listening. When we're fully present to our teens' personal and emotional sharing, they feel supported and are better able to get through social and emotional turbulence. So, for example, you can say, I can see how hard the social stuff is for you right now. I'm here if you need to talk. Don't ever tease. Don't tease ever. We want to be really mindful that although sometimes teasing is about connecting, and I know that teens can be incredibly hard to connect with, and it can be really tempting to give them a bit of a poke in attempt to connect with them. But by doing this, you do run the risk of invalidating, exposing or humiliating them, and that it leads to this enduring feeling that they're not safe with you, and we don't want them to feel hurt, and we don't want them to withdraw from you, because if they withdraw, it's really impossible to positively parent them. Parenting a teenager can be a pretty confusing task, even if your teen is happy and has a fairly even temperament. If your adolescent doesn't talk or share a lot, then your job might become a whole lot more confusing. And in this case, your careful observations are key. So what we know is that adolescents who talk a lot offer their parents multiple opportunities to comfort, to support, to connect, to guide them. And we can help our teens to help themselves by facilitating opportunities for them to practice emotionally intelligent behaviour. If a typically quiet adolescent who keeps a lot to themselves does share information, let the conversation remain theirs. If you're a very talkative parent, be very careful to not take over the conversation. And I know we've talked about this before, because our adolescents who don't speak easily need the time and the space in the conversation to verbalize their feelings and to relax into the discomfort of silence in gaps in conversations. Just shows that you've got an open ear. Some adolescents don't feel able to speak up, even when they're experiencing significant social problems. And if your adolescent is resisting going to school or having trouble concentrating or doing their homework, or if they're sad or they're withdrawn, upset or anxious, then there may be something going on. There might be some bullying going on, or there might be something else happening. And it's okay to gently ask them if everything's okay, or if there's anything on their mind that's upsetting them. But if after a few weeks of this gentle, caring approach and they still don't speak up and you still feel concerned about them, you might want to be reading my books, or you might want to download my parenting course, as well as speaking to another caring professional, as that starts to cross a line and you may need a little bit of help there.